Look at that. Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So guys, we talk about these 304s having all kinds of debt, right? You know, student loan debt, high interest car loans, bastard kids. Now guys, a large chunk of 304s have student loan debt, but the majority of people don't go to college. So, you know, a good amount of these chicks have these student loan debt, but you can guarantee that almost all 304s have credit card debt. So guys, part of this whole strong independent thing,
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore,
is spending money you don't have. And then they can't pay their credit card bills, and they come to the internet and whine about being broke. So guys, we're going to go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok and look at some of these dunderheads whining about their credit card debt. Before we do that, like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Guys, I have a second channel called 50304s. That's linked in the description. Join my Discord. Check out the playlist at the end. Guys, hit the join button or hit the link in the description because I'm offering memberships now. So thanks to all you guys that are members. I really appreciate that. And guys, look at this. Look at this dunderhead's face whip in the camera, right? Of course, I have to translate.
Silly Jedi, silly Jedi.
I'm the smartest person in the world, or I am the dumbest, and I'm coming to TikTok to ask your opinion on that. Now, first and foremost, watch this entire video through before you make a judgment, because there's some details that I need you to know. So I've been pretty open on this app that I have a lot of debt. I have a lot of debt.
Of course you do.
About $500,000 worth of debt. That
Whoa!
does include a mortgage, though, so, you know, take that as you may. However, I have a lot of student loan debt. I have a lot of loans for house repairs, things like that. So I decided that I was going to take out a balance transfer and pay off some of my student loans. Was that smart? Was that dumb? I don't know. So now I have about $27,000 in credit card debt. Specifically.
Whoa, guys, did you just hear that she said that she paid off her student loans with her credit cards? What an absolute dunderhead. Guys, look at that.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Specifically to pay off some student loans. I have about $2,000 in credit card debt anyway, so it's like it's just over $29,300. Most of it is for that balance transfer. So about $27,000 of that is not getting any interest on, which is fantastic considering I've been paying my loan down for 13 years and I have not even hit the halfway mark. Not even hit the halfway mark. On one of my loans, I have multiple loans. One of them started at $5,500. I still owe $2,400 and I've been paying it for 13 years. So we know that student loan interest is absolutely predatory, and my goal is to be debt-free by the end of 2025.
Yeah,
so
right.
I decided that I was going to take a balance transfer, put it in my bank account, and pay these student loans off as much as I could to like lower that interest. Now I have all of this credit card debt from these student loans, but it's at 0% APR. So we're going to try and chip away at that for the rest of the year. Now, like I said, I have more in student loans. I have more in, loans for my house, things like that. So I know it's very, very ambitious to be debt-free by the end of 2025. However, all of these balance transfers end in November of 2025. So I definitely need to be paying all of that $27,000 in balance transfers down by November at least. So that's my goal. In the meantime, I will still be like chipping away at my student loans, any other debt that I have, but any of the money I make through the TikTok Creator Rewards program certainly helps in order to pay down this debt. So I would really appreciate if you could like, share, comment, follow, and see this journey. I do post a lot of other content that's not necessarily the debt-free journey, but if you're not interested in that, like, please just scroll through after 5 seconds, because every single qualified view really helps me with this debt. So But if this was not a dumb idea, I'm not a financial person, but if this was not a dumb idea, maybe it will work for you too. So that's why I'm sharing. Anyway, have a great day and thank you so much. So
Look at that, guys. So, guys, we all know how high the interest is on credit cards, and she put her student loans on credit cards.
You stupid woman!
And guys, she couldn't even afford to friggin' pay down her student loans, right? So she's been paying the minimums and all of that, and she thinks that she's gonna pay off $25,000 in a year. Guys, if you honestly think that's gonna happen,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
absolute clown world, guys. Why? Why? Absolutely insane. Guys, if you, well, I mean, the purple hair tells you a lot, right? You know what I mean? But guys, even if you were crazy enough to come near this chick,
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
look at this. So she has 16 comments. Someone says, also, just in case you face further hardship, credit card debt is bankruptable. Look at that. Look at that. Someone says, yes, but if you have not paid off this debt in November 2025, you will incur higher interest. Hope you paid off by November, yeah. Look at that. Guys, this chick is cooked. Cooked. Someone says school loan lenders are predatory lenders. And you don't think credit card lenders are too? Guys, they're cooked. Cooked. Look at that. Guys, are hashtags. And guys, for those of you guys who don't know, they list these hashtags to try and like bring the attention to their TikToks. Okay? That's why it's so pathetic that they put all of them there. And they're trying to identify the video as said thing. That's why I read the hashtags. Hashtag financial freedom, please.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Hashtag financial journey. Hashtag debt free. Hashtag debt free journey. Hashtag debt free community. Hashtag credit cards. Hashtag credit card debt. Clown world. Guys, I seem to have to be translating a lot today, right?
Cool. Yeah, Maya's cool.
Hey, guys, this knucklehead says she's 31. She's 31. She looks like she's in her mid to late 40s, dude. Look at that.
Single, I live alone, and I'm currently paying off $29,000 in credit card debt.
Look at
Some
that.
exciting news. I went from $9,316 on my Capital One card to $8,900. Something about that 9 changing to an 8 just really made me excited, and knowing that I am now in the 8s on this credit card, I am like, we're just getting one step closer. And again, I know this is like not that huge of a payoff. It was
It's not.
a $400 payment, but it just made me really exciting. Waking up this morning and checking my app and seeing that it said $8,900. We're in the 8s, guys. We're in the 8s. Capital One is my highest interest card. Coincidentally, it is also my lowest balance. I only have 2 credit cards, so I'm tackling that one first by making an additional $200 payment a month. The minimum payment is like $300 something, so I did an extra $100 for this check, and then I'll do an extra $100 on the next check. We are one step closer to being debt free. Also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to my 500 and I think 20 followers. I am so excited that people are watching this journey, and I really appreciate everyone's support and your kind comments. And it's been really cool following along, getting to know some of the other creators on here. Thank you all so much for your kindness and welcoming me into the debt payoff community. It's been really awesome being on this side of TikTok. Just can't say thank you all enough. I really appreciate anybody that leaves me a comment or takes time to interact with me in any way. You're all really appreciated and definitely making this journey a lot easier. I'm 31, I'm single, I live alone, and I'm currently paying.
Look at that, guys. So do you guys see she said there's a debt payoff community, right? That means everyone in that community.
You're a bum!
You know what I'm saying? Guys, there's a debt payoff community, and it's all 304s, right? Guys, if you're on TikTok trying to rely on TikTok money to pay off your debt,
You're a bum!
if you're part of the debt-free payoff community,
You're a bum!
if you put hashtag debt-free journey on anything,
You're a bum!
you're a bum! Guys, we need to start calling these dunderheads what they are. Bums, man. She's cooked. And she said she has 2 credit cards, but she has $29,000 in debt. So she has, what, $21,000 on the other one? Damn, that's crazy. What are you talking about? Absolutely insane. Why are people so stupid, guys? Why? You know what I mean? And then gonna ask you, like, edit this and post this, guys.
I promise you, you would be disappointed with yourself if you watch this tomorrow.
Moron. And guys, here's the thing. You can never date these chicks that are bad with money, because I say it all the time. The only person whose money that they'd rather spend than theirs is yours. Look at that, guys. She has 17 comments. Good job. Keep going. I paid off $55,000 in debt. She had $55,000. Look at that. Do you have any budgeting tips? You're asking this idiot for budgeting tips? Why?
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
What are you talking about? Man, guys, they're cooked. Here's another one. Hashtag credit card. Hashtag debt-free journey. Clown world.
My name is Elise, and I'm documenting my debt payoff journey.
Here we go.
On paying off all of my credit card debt, so that way I can try to start a family with my husband. I just don't feel right about bringing a child into this world with credit card debt. So I said in my last video that I didn't even know how much credit card debt was in, which is really, really embarrassing.
Look at that.
I calculated it in December because that's kind of when I sort of started this journey, or at least trying to get really serious about paying it off. And I think it was like $18,000.
$18,000. And that husband of hers, that moron, that simp, that
Beta male
married her. And guys, how much you want to bet? It's not just her journey, it's his journey too, right? Because do you think that she's not nagging and haranguing him about paying off her credit card debt? Absolutely insane. Look at that. Come on, man.
That's really bad. I was so ashamed by it. Part of my goal with this account is not only to document my journey, but also to reduce some of that shame that we have around debt in general. Debt is not something that is rare. I think most Americans are in some sort of debt for sure. But we don't have to go through that alone. Debt can be so anxiety inducing. It can be something that has so much shame and guilt, and we don't have to live that way. We were never meant to go through life alone, struggling alone, and not leaning on people for support. I'm documenting my journey to hopefully help people feel less bad about the debt that they're in and feel more comfortable to share it with others, so that they can get the support and encouragement that they need from the people that they get their support from. Okay, so my first card that I'm working on paying off right now is my American Express card that has $5,167. I got this in 2023 when I was in grad school and getting ready to graduate, but I had to quit my job. So I was going through grad school at that point in my life without any form of income, and it was really, really hard. So it started off by just putting like groceries and things on it, and then little purchases here and there, and it's added up to over $5,000. This actually was the card that I had the highest amount on whenever I first started paying off my debt. So I am proud with where it's at. I think it started with like 9,000 probably, so I've made a good dent in it, but that's the one that I want to pay off first. My second one is my Discover card. I've had this one the longest. I got it in 2019 in undergrad, so kind of similar situation. I was doing really great with it. I paid it off at the end of every month, but then, you know, life just happens.
There it is.
Happened. The state of the world happened, so here we are. $6,733. Oh, that's a lot. That brings my total to $11,988 in credit card debt. I think whenever you add the two numbers that I just gave up, it might not quite equal that much, but there are 2 or 3 charges on one of those cards that just hasn't gone through yet, so I'm including that in there. So that's almost $12,000. It's scary whenever you put it all together, but honestly, that's the first step, is really figuring out like what is my situation like, because that's going to give you a good head start in tackling it. So yeah, that's the total amount of debt I'm in. That's my goal to pay it off. My goal is to pay it off by the end of this year, hopefully earlier than December, but we will see. So if you want to follow me along on this journey, feel free to follow, or if you just want to follow along just for the encouragement, I hope that this can be an account that really encourages you to tackle your own financial debt, so that way you can achieve your goals. I can't wait to pay this off so my husband and I can hopefully start a family. So hopefully in December, we'll see. Hey y'all.
Look at that, guys, right? Cooked, and her husband's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? An absolute dunderhead. She's cooked. She's not paying this off. I guarantee you her husband's paying it. Right? And she's probably leveraging sex, right? Saying he'll get a blowy or some sloppy toppy if he pays off her loans. You know? Guys, I'm not going to read these hashtags. I'm not going to read all these stupid comments here because this is BS. Guys, never, ever, 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 ever marry a chick who has debt. Don't pay their bills. Don't pay their bills. Don't pay their bills! Alright, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good one.